If you've played Genshin Impact for any length of time, odds are you've ended up going through the co-op mode at some point. Because let's face it, it can make some things, especially farming certain materials, a heck of a lot easier. But while the game doesn't necessarily give you any, there are some certain rules that come along with co-op. And while I'm not going to claim that these are necessarily the be-all, end-all, everybody follows these rules, these are at least the ones that I've noticed in my 55 adventure ranks of playing this game. But before I continue, I would like to ask you to like the video if you like it, leave a comment, let me know if there's anything that I got wrong or if there's any other ones that I forgot about, and subscribe if you're new. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Rule number 1 generally only applies to domains when you can only have one of any given character at a time, but for the most part, the host always gets first choice of character. Doesn't matter if you have a C6 Raiden Shogun with R5 of the banner weapon of hers, it does not matter. Host gets first choice, because quite frankly, if you keep trying to play a character that they're trying to play, they'll probably end up just kicking you anyway. So, plus, at the same time, if nothing else, their world, their rules. Rule 2 also applies to single character domains. Whoever has the higher level character of the one that more than one person is trying to be gets to keep it. Doesn't matter who's got the better constellations, weapons, artifacts, nothing. The higher level generally gets to keep it, because odds are they put in a lot more time into grinding for that character than the lower level person, and it's almost a sign of respect for doing so. This applies to both domains and in general, but generally speaking, you want to have at least one person playing a more healer type support. Now, personally, in my experience, that generally ends up being Barbara, Jean, or Bennett. Or lately, because I've been playing more support roles lately, Kokomi. This one should be fairly obvious, but at the same time, you'd be surprised how many people it seems to go over their heads. Always ask permission to farm materials in a different person's world, especially if the material you're trying to farm is a local specialty, because odds are the person who's hosting is going to end up needing to farm those materials as well at some point. So always make sure that it's okay, because next thing you know, you go and steal all of their core lapis when they're trying to level their Zhongli or something. The next one is basically the same thing, just fishing. Just ask first. This one goes back mostly to domains. If you end up having a couple of the teammates leave but you have one stay, a lot of times you'll generally find the host will still try to run it anyway with just the one or two people, but if they end up completing it, you'll probably end up getting a friend request, and it's, in my experience, usually courteous to accept that, because it shows, hey, there's somebody that I know that I can duo, domains with in the future. And I've actually had a few people do that, where I would get online and then get messaged, say, hey, you want to run X domain? Sure, and then we would duo it and absolutely stomp it. And the last one, which frankly shouldn't be obvious to anyone, but I'm still going to say it anyway. Do not flame your teammates for any reason. Just don't. They don't want to deal with it. Odds, they could just be new to a character. They might just be a little underleveled, which is why they're trying to farm. Just don't. Nobody wants to deal with that, and odds are if the host gets sick of it, they'll just kick you. So, yeah. And those are the unwritten rules of Genshin Impact's co-op mode that I've noticed. Like I said at the beginning, this is not be-all, end-all by any means. There's probably a lot more that I can't think of at the moment, and I'm admittedly being a little lazy. So feel free to point out anything I got wrong or anything that I missed down in the comments section. I actually am kind of looking forward to seeing some of those, because maybe I can make another video out of this in the future. So if you haven't already, like the video if you liked it. Feel free to comment, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time.